Little Luxuries on Your Money, only on Money FM 89.3.
Welcome to Little Luxuries. Today I'm checking out Sylfirm X. You may have heard of it. Dr. Lam Bee Lan from Ageless is here as always, looking infinitely ageless. Dr. Lam, welcome.
Hi, Michelle. Nice to meet you again on air. And a big hello to all the listeners of 89.3 Little Luxuries.
Yes, we are so excited to hear about Sylfirm X. So tell me, everybody's excited about microneedling, but this is a procedure with almost no downtime. How does that happen?
We know that Sylfirm X is a US FDA-approved microneedling radiofrequency device. But for the benefit of the listeners, Michelle, I'm going to spend a little time explaining about microneedling and radiofrequency. The purpose of microneedling is to puncture the outermost layer of the skin and to trigger the natural healing process of the skin. This promotes collagen production and skin regrowth. Now, the addition of radiofrequency further stimulates production of collagen to firm and tighten the skin and for skin rejuvenation. And as you already know, in my clinic, Ageless Medical, I have a repertoire of microneedling radiofrequency device. And of course, the latest addition is, ta-da, my new baby, Sylfirm X. Now, different microneedling radiofrequency devices have different characteristics depending on a number of things. One, the needles, whether the needles are insulated or not insulated, whether the needles are gold-plated or not, the depth of the needles, the adjustable depth of the needles, and the types of radiofrequency that are being used. Now, these different characteristics will target and treat different skin conditions. So to answer your question, why is it that this Sylfirm X has no downtime? We have to take a look at the needles, okay?
Okay.
Now,
okay.
So this is I'm not sure you can see, this is a insulated needle, but this doesn't belong to Sylfirm X, but this is an insulated needle. Insulated needle are produced to actually protect the superficial layer of the skin, that's the epidermis, which means when we puncture this into the skin, the radiofrequency is emitted at the end of the needle. It causes low volume heating. Because it is low volume heating, when we use these insulated needles, you have to puncture the skin a few passes, maybe 3 to 4 passes, and because of this repeated trauma on the skin, with insulated needles, you actually cause more downtime. Now, we come to Sylfirm X. Okay, with Sylfirm X, if you can see, okay, the needles coming out, the golden babies coming out. With Sylfirm X,
right.
Okay, the needles are non-insulated, which means the radiofrequency is emitted along the entire length of the needles. It causes high volume heating. And with high volume heating, you only need 1 to 2 passes. So there's less trauma, less downtime. That's number one. Number two, if you look carefully, the needles are 24K gold-plated, not less. And it means that the needles can penetrate the skin smoother. And because it's smoother, there's less trauma and there's less downtime. So that explains why Sylfirm X has little to no downtime.
Oh, I love the idea of all the benefits of microneedling, which stimulates the body's own ability to repair the skin.
Absolutely.
And that's why after a microneedling session, usually you have to wait a couple of days for the redness to go down, the swelling to go down, but then you enjoy the benefits of skin looking incredible, firmer, your scars being far improved as well. And I just wonder, for this case, because there's no downtime, so you walk out literally looking better than when you walked in already, what is the range of conditions that Sylfirm X can treat?
Now, Sylfirm X, as I've mentioned, has radiofrequency, and the radiofrequency is dual mode, which is continuous mode and the pulse mode. And it has 8 different modes with the widest depth of the needle range from 0.3 mm to 4 mm. And this is the widest in the market they can find amongst the microneedling radiofrequency devices. So by adjusting the depth of the needles and also by tweaking the radiofrequency energy level, Sylfirm X can be used to treat a wide range of skin conditions, as you mentioned, from melasma to rosacea to active acne, acne scars, wrinkles. And not only that, because you can adjust the depth of the needle to as little as 0.3 mm, which is really very short, you can use to treat delicate and sensitive areas of the face, for example, the eye, around the eyes, around the lips, on the forehead, and even on different parts of the body like your under chin, your crepey neck skin, your décolletage, even the scalp. You can use it to treat the scalp to stimulate hair regrowth by promoting and increasing blood circulation. So this means that Sylfirm X can be customized not only to treat different individuals, but for also different skin condition on the face of the same individual. Because right, some patients, even including myself, for my face, I've got different skin conditions. I have melasma, I have got open pores. Some patients have acne scars, active acne, wrinkles. So you can target different conditions on the same face because you have the same different conditions on one single person. So you can tweak the energy devices, you can tweak the depth of the needle to target different conditions in the same individual. That's a beauty.
All at one pass?
Same
sitting. Okay, great.
You tweak it, you want to lift the jawline, you want to change it to continuous mode, higher energy level, longer length of the needle. For melasma, the energy depth, the energy is lesser. You want to use a pulse mode and you want to use a shorter needle so that there's less heat. That's the beauty with this device. You can actually tweak and play around.
I'm actually very curious as to it is amazing. I'm curious as to how it works with melasma because I've had bad melasma for a long while and I've tried all the creams in the market to help the melasma. And I was really amazed at, how Sylfirm X can deal with melasma very quickly and very well.
Yeah, you're right, Michelle. Melasma is benign, but it can be a psychologically crippling skin condition, as we all know, and it is very common in Asian women. It is difficult to treat, as you mentioned, and very often it can relapse even after treatments. And we know it's caused by excessive sun exposure, genetics, body hormonal changes, medications, pregnancy. And basically, there are 4 causes to the melasma formation and also how it develops. Firstly, in melasma patients, the melanocytes are hyperactive, and it means that they are very easily stimulated by exposure to the sun, and this results in increase in production of pigmentation. And secondly, in melasma patients, they are also found to have a damaged basement membrane, and this basement membrane is a skin structure found between the epidermis and the dermis layer of the skin. Thirdly, melasma patients are also found to have increased abnormal blood vessels in the skin. And these abnormal blood vessels produces VEGF, VEGF stands for vascular endothelial growth factors. And these growth factors have been shown in studies to increase production of pigmentation. And last but not least, in melasma patients, we find that there are a lot of aging fibroblasts in the skin. So Sylfirm X may not be able to cure melasma, but it is a great device to control melasma. Why? Because, as I mentioned, we can tweak the radio frequency energy to a pulse mode with lower radio frequency level. We can use a shorter needle length of 0.3 to 0.5. And Sylfirm X treats melasma by targeting the root causes of melasma, by regulating the hyperactive melanocytes, by strengthening the basement membrane, fantastic, by removing the abnormal blood vessels and stimulating the growth of collagen. So, you can treat melasma. Not only that, Sylfirm X can also treat rosacea. It is also a very common condition characterized by flushing and blushing of the skin and abnormal blood vessels. And as I've mentioned, to treat the skin on other parts of the body and also to treat the scalp. So it is actually an excellent device.
So I was one of the first people to come around microneedling. I try it at home, 0.25, 0.5 by myself. And it seems so primitive now compared to what we have with Sylfirm X, because if you do it yourself, my gosh, you end up like a piece of raw meat, and it's not so, it's kind of dangerous actually, because you can overdo it. But with Sylfirm X, I'm just curious for those out there listening and they're wondering, how is it that puncturing your skin with microneedles can make your skin so smooth and poreless almost in appearance? How does it work?
Now, Sylfirm X is able to tighten the skin, as I've mentioned, especially if you add on the radio frequency, which has a synergistic effect. It can reduce the appearance of visible pores, making it look almost poreless. And that is because of the radio frequency, which is emitted, and it heats up the dermis layer of the skin at 55 to 60 degrees Celsius. It stimulates the production of collagen and it helps to tighten the skin. And all these are backed by science. Okay, there are clinical studies to show that Sylfirm X is able to stimulate the growth of collagen and to tighten the skin, making the skin look almost porous.
Okay, so I love it so much. I have to ask, how regularly can I do this? Because it makes my skin look really good.
Now, depending again on the skin problems we are treating, generally we recommend 4 treatments or more at monthly intervals. Why monthly intervals? Because we want the skin to heal in between treatments. So if you want your skin to look just glowing and radiant and porous, you will see results just after one single session. As we have both experienced it, the skin will just look glowing and radiant and porous the next day with no downtime. Obviously, if you want to treat acne scars, and especially if you've got moderate acne scars, you may require 3 to 4 treatments. If the scars are deeper and more serious, more treatments, of course, are required. We also know it takes time for new collagen to develop. So generally for acne scars, you see best results 3 to 4 weeks later. And of course, the improvement will continue as more treatments are being administered to the acne scars.
So 4 treatments is recommended, but if you want to keep up the regime and you want to come every month because it tightens and it does good things for your neck, for example, you can keep doing that every month.
You can keep doing that. Yes, absolutely.
That's fabulous. So, a lot of people have a lot of events to attend now that we're slowly reopening and they want to go out and meet people in person. How far ahead of an important event should someone think of doing Sylfirm X?
As I've mentioned, Sylfirm X has almost no downtime. There is minimal discomfort and the skin looks glowing, radiant and porous the next day. You can actually do Sylfirm X 1 to 2 days before your important events. There's absolutely no downtime.
Absolutely fabulous. Now, how would you describe when people hear, microneedling and energy as well? How do you describe the pain factor, Dr. Lam?
I think sensation of pain, we know, is very individual. It also depends on the pain threshold of the patients and also the different conditions we're treating. But generally speaking, there's minimal discomfort because we will apply a layer of numbing cream on the skin about 30 minutes before we start the procedure. So it's fairly comfortable, I would say.
Extremely tolerable, in fact.
Yes,
how deep can you go in terms of depth with Sylfirm X?
So for Sylfirm X, as I've mentioned, the depth of the needle can be adjusted from 0.3 mm to 4 mm. Okay, so depending on what we are targeting, we can actually adjust the depth of the needle. For melasma, usually we use shorter needle length, 0.3 to 0.5, and pulse wave, radio frequency, lower energy level because you don't want to overheat the skin. If you overheat the patients with melasma, you can actually cause a rebound in the melasma. So we can, that's the beauty of it. You can tweak it. If patients have got acne scars, obviously you want to use a continuous mode. You want to use higher energy level. You want the needles to go as deep as 2 to 3 mm so that you can actually break the adhesion scars of the acne and you can actually stimulate the growth of new collagen to give you skin renewal and to give you excellent improvement in your acne scars. So it really depends on skin conditions.
Fantastic. Speaking of skin conditions, does this work mainly for texture? When people hear microneedling, they think, helping with acne scars, but can this work on the creeping up little wrinkles?
Yes, Sylfirm X can also help to reduce wrinkles. Now, with the radio frequency continuous pulse mode, as I've mentioned earlier, it can stimulate the growth of new collagen and skin tightening, and this has been proven in studies backed by science. And as I've also mentioned, because you can adjust the needle length to 0.3 mm, it means that, and also you can tweak the energy level to lower energy level. So Sylfirm X is an excellent device to actually treat sensitive and delicate skin, especially around the eyes, the perioral area. It can reduce wrinkles on your forehead, around your eyes, around your lips, the crepey skin on the neck, the double chin, and even the décolletage. So it's actually an excellent device because you're able to tweak the energy level of the radio frequency. You can also toggle between pulse mode and continuous mode to treat different skin conditions. So it makes the skin porous. It can also reduce fine lines and wrinkles on the face. And
Oh,
it can
that's good
improve skin
news.
texture. Yes.
We love that all. Dr. Lam, a lot of my listeners are professionals and they don't like downtime. And perhaps they're familiar with other devices. We've talked about HIFU, for example. And I wonder, can you mix this? So can you go for a Sylfirm X session and then go for a HIFU session, which is also popular because, no downtime.
Yes. Yeah. Now, HIFU stands for high intensity focus ultrasound waves. HIFU is used to tighten SMAS, which is superficial musculoaponeurotic system, starting from the collarbone all the way through the neck to the face and to the scalp. So it tightens it so that the skin becomes less saggy. You can combine both because they're targeting at different skin layers. Basically, Sylfirm X target deepest is at 4 mm, but at 4 mm, it can be a little bit more uncomfortable. So you can actually mix both, but preferably not on the same sitting. You may want to do the HIFU first and then followed by the Sylfirm X on a different day so that you allow the skin to heal in between treatments and to actually maximize the potential of both devices.
And, when people hear microneedling, they think, oh, the skin is then going to be receptive to all sorts of things that you then put on it. I mean, can you tailor what you add to the skin during a Sylfirm X session?
Yes. When you are using microneedling, remember I mentioned right at the beginning, you're creating a micropuncture on the outermost layer of the skin. Now, these micro channels will stay open for a few hours after Sylfirm X. And if you apply any topical active ingredients, they are better absorbed. So you can actually enhance the activity and also enhance the active ingredients you put on the face after a Sylfirm X procedure. Remember we talk about adding serum that contains gold nanoparticles into the skin, and then using the microneedling radiofrequency device Sylfirm X to actually help to better push the active ingredient into the skin to help to further stimulate the growth of collagen, to further enhance the effect of Sylfirm X. It is actually a very good thing to do when we add on a topical after Sylfirm X treatment, or add on the topical and then do the Sylfirm X treatment. Fantastic combination.
Smooth and tight skin is within reach. Thank you, Dr. Lam Bee Lan from Ageless, joining us this morning to talk to us about Sylfirm X. Have a great day, Dr. Lam.
Yes, you too, Michelle.